Welcome in to the Arkansas Sports Network's Hometown Sports Football Preview, proudly presented by Arkansas Tech University, D3 Auto Sales, and by Metcalf Trucking Company. Today we sit down with Danville Littlejohn head coach DJ Crane. This Pigskin Preview is brought to you by Chambers Bank.
Welcome into the Hometown Sports Football Preview. I've got Coach DJ Crane of Danville here. Man, we're excited. I'm excited. I will tell you, I've had some interaction with you throughout the years here since I've been in this business. It was always exciting to hear that you were coming back to Danville. Had to get down here and do an interview with you, and man, we're excited to be here today, talk to you about your team, and do a season preview of the Danville Littlejohns. And let's just get right to it. First off, let's talk about your assistant coaches. Nobody talks about assistant coaches. Everybody looks at the head man. Of course, we know Heavy is the head that wears the crown, but at the same time, these guys help you. Elias Carter, Damone Tolbert, and Marlon Gilkey.
Yes, that will be my senior high staff. The River Valley, a lot of River Valley guys on there. Mm-hmm. If you name those, and you probably know a lot of those names that are on there, and people watching today will know a lot of those names. Just blessed to have this staff. It's they're high character guys. They work hard, and they're open to what we want to do here, and they're accepting of it and ready to get to work. And they understand the grind of it, and they're ready to do it. I couldn't be more excited about this staff that we have right here. Marlon is a Danville graduate and played here, won a state championship here, and is the special teams coordinator now, and went and kicked for Arkansas State. Elias Carter will be a young offensive coordinator. He played at Dardanelle, so he's from the River Valley, understands what Danville football is, and he's going to do a wonderful job. He's going to learn a lot this year, but I can't wait to get to be around him and help him with that and give him my life experiences with him. Mm-hmm. Can't wait to see how that goes. And then we have Damone Tolbert, who will do our offensive and defensive line, and I coached his son Quentin.
Yes.
That was here. He's an all-state football player here. And Damone has done a great job with our Pee Wee programs in the past. And he's a great asset to have on our football team. And his son, Jamie, will also come and help the senior high during that time. Jamie Tolbert will come and help the senior high at that time. Jamie is a talented young coach that I have a lot of high hopes for, and I can't wait to get him involved in our program, which I also got to coach him, and he played on the state championship team in 2010. When we went to the state championship in 2010, he was one of our offensive and defensive linemen. So he understands what it is to be a Littlejohn, and we'll also get to have two coaches in junior high that are just going to be junior high coaches, and that's going to be Austin McKnight, who's a talented coach and has coached here with me in the past, and is a phenomenal baseball coach. And he's going to get to do junior high. And Quentin Tolbert also, who I got to coach here in the past, is going to help with our junior high too. So having a split staff like that is so beneficial for us, and it's something we've never got to do here. And it's only going to benefit our kids with how they play the game. And they've got quality coaches.
Yeah.
Backing them.
Absolutely. Now, let's talk a little bit about this. I want to follow up. You talked about split staffs and all, but you had said that I believe it was Gilkey was the Pee Wee guy. Which one was it?
Damone
Tolbert. Okay.
Yeah.
So you said he did a good job with the Pee Wee program.
build.
Talk about that part of this. How important to Danville is the Pee Wee program?
Well, it's important that you build a foundation there.
Yeah.
And it's not, it's we want to get them in and we want to teach them the basic fundamentals of the game. We know they're not schematically going to go out there and go crazy with it. We really don't want that. We just want them, one, enjoying the experience of playing the game and learning the game and doing it the right way, learning how to block, learning how to tackle. That is the main thing. And I meet with those guys every year, and we go over it, the expectations of how to block and tackle and keeping the kids safe and communicating with parents and everything on that level. That way they kind of have an idea when they get out of Pee Wee what to expect when they are in the high school playing for the Little Giants.
Yeah. Well, I think that's a great thing to have that kind of connection. I feel like that is something that separates some places from others when a coach like yourself is involved in that.
Yeah.
What type of offense are you going to run? And you said the I formation. That was your response there.
Yeah.
Elaborate a little bit on that.
Well, we are gonna spread it out a little bit, but we need to be able to adapt to the personnel that we have. And right now, 11 and 12 personnel is likely what we will be in. And I was just being funny when I put the I on there, but people get a kick right. I've done that forever, but we will spread it out. We will be in the gun.
Yeah.
Pretty much all the time. And we'll be in 11 and 12 personnel quite a bit just because of the bodies that we have. We have the option, we have the ability to go in 10 personnel, but the bodies that we have really call for us to be in 11 and 12 personnel and 21. So looking at it right now, that's what we're looking at doing. And the install has been heavy 11, 12, and 21 personnel. So that's kind of where we're at right now.
You guys when you were here before, you really had a mantra of being a physical team. You're talking about being an 11 and 12. Yes. Talk about how you instill that into your kids.
Well, day by day is what we say. It's every day we come in ready to work, and it doesn't matter what happens during that day. You attack the day, and then the next day is its own self, just like in a play. So day by day, we call up on day by day. We do have our own little prayer with day by day. We really buy into that saying day by day, and we started in the weight room. We're in the weight room, like our seventh graders in the weight room right now, working out, and that's where we're going to be. We're going to be in the weight room, and we're going to be physical, and then we're going to do difficult things while we're in there. We're going to finish with something that's difficult, where you have to push through it and finish it, because we feel like that's important. Like, we feel like if you can do something difficult consistently, then when you get out on the field and difficult things come up, then you're used to that.
Yeah.
And that's what we do. We do it every day. There's something that we do that is not easy, and we have to finish it and push through it. And that's kind of where we started in the off season, and then it'll carry on into the summers, because we do have a lot of kids that play multiple sports, and which we love here and we want, because we want our kids being successful in everything that they do. And we'll take that when they get done. We'll get them, and then we'll continue that through the summer. And then we'll have and I think that was one of our things previously when I was here. Our summer program was really good, and our kids bought into it and they understood it. And it starts in the weight room, and communicating with the parents. Like we've given them dead period dates, early on. Mm-hmm. That was the first week I was here. I found out when the dead period dates were, and I sent them out so they would know, hey, here's the dead period dates. If you can, if it's optional, schedule your vacations during this time, so we don't lose time with your son.
Right.
And communicating with the parents is big on that. So they understand what the expectation is, and then the kids kind of follow along with that. So But going back to your question, how do you do? It's the weight room.
Yeah.
It's just as simple as that. We know where we want to be. We know what our goal is in the weight room with kids in their position, and we work our tails off to get there.
You listed 3-4 as your defense. Talk a little bit about that.
That's something that I was a 4-3 guy, and if anybody, and not a lot of people will know this guy, but Kirk Hosa, who was at Arkansas Tech for a couple of years and it had a big impact on me defensively, was a 4-3 guy, and I was a 4-3 guy here for a long time, and then I got to Bentonville and talked to them. And they were a 3-4 team, and I really liked it. I really liked what they were doing. I liked what they could do out of it, and it really kind of changed with me, and I got comfortable calling it, and I got comfortable with the checks. I got comfortable with the alignments, and it's something I'm bringing here. So that's straight from Bentonville, the 3-4.
Everything's still good here. And this is good. This stuff is gold. This is exactly what I'm wanting. Exactly. I don't think it'll all go as well as this is, but this is exactly what I want. All right. So I'll just 3-2-1 and we'll go to the strengths of your team.
Okay.
All right. So 3-2-1. So as you listed, the strength of your team is that you feel like the majority of your team is back. Mm-hmm. They've got a little bit of playing experience. So talk a little bit about that.
Yeah, these they have had some success. It was in the lower grades, not necessarily in senior high, but this group has had some success. And the seniors, okay, they missed out on an entire sophomore year. And then they didn't have a lot of success last year. But as you watch film, you can see that it is there. Like the potential is there. And they are hungry for some success. The seniors that we'll have next year. And they're just a great group of guys. They're very unassuming. They're very, very quiet. And they just want to go in there and do what it takes to be successful, which is really what you want. You don't want to go in there and have them question everything that you're doing. Mm-hmm. You want them to go in there and get the work done. And here's what we're doing from right now until the end of the summer to get ready for football. Here's what we're doing. Yes, sir. And that's what they do. They're in there ready to work and ready to go. So that's a big plus. It's getting them bought into that. Also, we're big. They're big kids. Like it's like Danville of the old. Mm-hmm. I walked in and saw some of these kids, and I thought, my goodness, we've got a little size here, and size all the way across the board. So we're going to use that to our advantage. We're just going to use that to our advantage, mm-hmm. and we're going to go out there and our practices are going to be physical, and we're going to be aggressive, and we're going to play to that. That's what we're going to do. And I feel like, based on watching film and seeing them in the weight room, that's something we'll be able to do.
Sounds like old school Danville is what it sounds like. You got a lot of returning starters that you listed: Dylan Carpenter, Cash Wilson, mm-hmm. Gunnar Wilkins, Jonah Alvey, Jairo Becerra.
Heidel. It's spelled that way.
Okay.
It's spelled like you just said, right? But it's Heidel.
Heidel. Okay.
That's how you say it.
I'll tell you what. You give me those names here.
Yeah. Rodil Mott, Nate Lane, Colton Cross, DJ Hill, Leland Brown, Jaden Harden, Mason Ellison, Jader Rainwater, who moved in from Bentonville. These are guys that have had experience playing.
Right.
Yeah.
And just give me a little bit of insight into those guys.
Well, I don't know a lot of them that well.
Yeah.
Just from watching film and then what the interaction that I've had with them right now and talking to them and getting to know them, I feel like it's that they have that Danville DNA in them.
Right.
they have that. All right, what do we got to do here? I'm going to run through that hole and I'm going to hit you. I think they do have that mindset, and it's really just going to be like us going out there and getting it done.
Yeah,
it's our here's what we got to do. You want to get it done? Okay. All right. Yes, sir. All right. Well, let's go get it done.
Yeah.
And I think they have that mentality. I really do. And there's a lot of guys on there that, you can single out guys. But I feel like right now it's a whole, just a whole group that has to really get bought into what we're doing. And I feel like that's kind of what our team will look like. It's like there's not just a whole lot of big names out there, but
sure,
all of a sudden now, look at they're playing a lot better and they're winning games and what's going on here. And then like we talk about contribution over position.
Yeah,
like. I realize that you want to play this position, but what if you can contribute more over here?
Sure. At
this position. So contribution is much more important than position, and they're buying into that. We've got guys that said, if we got running backs saying, I'll play wherever you want me to go. I'll play center. I'll play guard. I'll do whatever it takes. And that's really the mindset that we want to have, because we have three things that we want to live by. And we want a servant's heart, we want to be tough, and then we want a family atmosphere. And that's something we've always had here. And if you get the first two, the last one takes care of itself.
Yeah.
You have the servant's heart and you have the toughness, and you're going to be a family. So we talk about that every day. Like, they can list it. You can go to any one of our kids and say, what's the three core covenants of your program? They're going to say servant's heart, toughness, and family. They're going to tell you that. And what do you call it up on every day by day?
Mm-hmm.
They're going to say it. What's the prayer? And they're going to tell you the prayer. So it's just something that they live by and they're going to do. And the individualism is starting to go by the wayside. So, and that's what we want.
And that's culture, and that's what you build. Mm-hmm. You're a culture guy.
Yes, very much so. It's more important that they are. I see it a lot, and I'll probably get emotional, but if I see a kid that's a good dad, that is better than anything. It is. Like that guy listened when he was here. He understood what we were talking about.
Yeah.
Like you're gonna play football and you're gonna be finished, and then what?
Yeah.
What after that? Are you gonna be a good man? Are you going to be a good dad, good husband? And a lot of ours that have been through this program are.
Yeah.
They really are. And that's the main thing. Like, what impact are we making on these kids? Is it a positive or negative impact? And we want to make a positive impact on these kids.
Well, I know, because I've been around you in this program. I know you're doing that. Mm-hmm. With that said, everybody wants to know about who's going to play quarterback.
Yeah.
Quarterback obviously is a very important position on the field. Do you have an idea of who you might play? Is there a battle that's going down?
The guy coming in is Rodeo Mata.
Mm-hmm.
He's the guy. He's a very good quarterback. He is extremely gifted athletically. Kids really look up to him. So his leadership is there. So he's the guy going in.
Yeah.
He is dangerous in the backfield. Like, he is, we've all seen players come through the River Valley. He can be one of those guys here in the River Valley. It's really, really good. So he's going to start off taking the reps, But you got to have guys ready to go. Like,
sure.
You got to have guys ready to go in case something happens where, next man up. So a perfect example is when we were at Danville last year. We had Carter and I got banged up and was hurt, and then our Coach Grant's son was our backup, and he was hurt. He had got hurt. We were on our third quarterback going into playing Rogers, who's the quarterfinal team, mm-hmm. and he was ready. He was ready to go. He was with a sophomore quarterback that had to step up and play, and we won that game because he was ready to play. So it's next man up. So you got to get ready. It's just like, well, you can play this position, but you better be ready to go. You better always be ready to go and play. And I'll tell you another story is when I was playing here, we had a quarterback go down, and I had told the backup for a long time that you better be ready to take the snap any minute. And it was, I'm not going to call him out, but it's Preston Danville. So if you remember Preston, he's a phenomenal quarterback here for us. And he would always be, oh, coach, I said, no, now Pete, you got to be ready to go. You got to be ready to go. And he was a sophomore at the time when we had to take Matty at quarterback. He was one of the better ones that River Valley's had, and played at Harding Academy for 4 years. And Jake went down and had to miss 4 games his senior year. And guess who had to? Guess who had to be ready to go? Yeah. Well, Preston had to be ready to go. And he said, Coach, you were right. I had to be ready to go. And he was ready to go. But deep back in the back part of his mind, he's like, I'm not going to be out there yet.
Right.
But he was immediately. He had to start that first game and go out there and play. And he went 4-0. So he was ready. And it's the next guy up mentality, and we got to have numbers. And the main thing I've told them is I've made the kids recruit the hallways. Like if there's a guy that needs to play, get him out here. He needs to play. We have to have a competition out here. We have to have somebody pushing. We have to push each other. Yeah. Because competition can make you so much better. So we had to get the bodies out, and we have. Kids have done great with that, and the numbers are up. So that's going to be beneficial. But right now, quarterback-wise, it'll be Rodale.
Let's talk about surprise players. Rodale's one that you listed, and also Gunnar Wilkins, another one. Yeah,
Gunnar is your throwback type. He's your throwback type guy. He is hard-nosed downhill runner like Danville's always had. He is hard to bring down because he's so strong. He's just a sophomore right now, so we get him for 2 more years. And he's going to be a good football player for us, both sides of the ball. So we're excited about having him. And luckily, and he'll tell you this, Dylan Carpenter too is another. They're both 200 pounds. Dylan's 200 pounds and Gunnar's 200 pounds. That's a lot of That's a lot of guys. That's a lot of weight behind running the ball, and guys that can do it are in shape and strong. You got those 2 guys plugging downhill. That's nice. Yeah. And then you got Rodale in the backfield also that is elusive. It makes it tough defensively for you. Not to mention the offensive line that you're going to have up front. At center, you've got Matthew Sullivan and Ed Navarrete that are battling for that spot. Matthew was there last year and got hurt, and then you had a bad 4-wheel accident. Matthew Sullivan had a bad 4-wheeler accident. And this is a whole other story in itself. But he was hurt. His cousin was hurt. He was badly hurt. Matthew was. His cousin was about to die, and Matthew saved his life.
Wow.
He did. He saved his life. He put together a beat-up 4-wheeler that was completely dismantled. He put it together in the dark somehow and got his cousin out of there and airlifted him.
My goodness.
He saved his life. And, I went and visited him, and we talked to him. I said, and he was just wanting to talk about football, and he was all scarred up on his face, and his foot was damaged, and he was hurt. And we got to talking, and I said, you know what, bud, you realize you're a hero, right? No, Coach. I said, yeah, bud, what you did was amazing. And but that's almost another entire story in itself.
Right. Whole interview.
But it is the type of kids we are dealing with here. The servant's heart. Yeah. And the toughness and family is kind of what draws you back to Danville. That a kid does that, saves his cousin's life. He's badly hurt. Yeah. Who's he thinking about? He's thinking about his cousin. Yeah. But those 2, right now at center, Colton Cross took over the center reins after Matthew got hurt last year, and is battling there. But Colton Cross is a guy that can play anywhere on the league. And he's a very, very good defensive end for us. So, and then you got you got some size there. So Matthew and Ed are 225 pounds plus. And, your right guard and your left guard, two big guys. Okay, so right guard is Leland Brown, 276 pounds. That is very aggressive, very technically sound. Your right. I may have screwed that up on who is where. Leland at right guard and DJ Hill at right tackle. Those two are very aggressive guys. And DJ Hill's 205 pounds. He's a O-line. He's 205 pounds, but he is he is a technical dude. Right. Coach, how do I step? Well, you step just like this, and he'll step exactly the way you tell him to. And then he's going to finish. Which is good. So those two at that spot. And then you got Jonah Albee on the other side. You've got Jonah Albee and Hyder Becerra. Yeah. Okay. And those two, like Jonah is very powerful kid and really likes to come off the ball and hit. And Heidel's the same way. And Heidel's as talented a guy as we've had. Just watching him play and seeing installs, he's as good a guy as we've had pulling around. And we like to encounter. Right. So he can pull around and get around that double team and look for that backer and get on him quick. He's as good as we've had there. And then you have Jaden Harden that can come in at tight end and who's 225 pounds that can catch a ball out of the backfield, catch a ball off the line of scrimmage. Jager Rainwater, same thing, 6'4", 240 that can catch the ball and can run a little bit. So you got those two guys. You got that front right there, and then those two big backs running behind it, and then you got your quarterback in Rodale. That's nice. Well, then you got on the outsides, you got Alex Mullins, 6'3", and a phenomenal basketball player that can jump. 175 pounds that can jump up in the air. And then you got Cash Wilson, our leading receiver, coming back. Yeah. Who's on the outside also that has no fear coming across the middle and is 6'2", 6'3" also that can go up and get a ball. So you got some size that you can work. Wow. So it makes when you get in those two tight end sets, it makes what's the defense going to do? Like what are you going to do? Load the box and try to stop us running, or are you still going to deal with those two guys on the outside there too? So. And then if we want a little quicker set in, you've got your Aiden Hannums and Mason Ellisons and Christian Alcacers and guys like that you can get a ball to quickly. Going back at quarterback, we do have a junior high quarterback, Will Wilson, who's Cash's younger brother, but highly intelligent. That can, if we need somebody to come in and run the show, he can come in. But we'll try out several guys at quarterback just to make sure that if something happens and we need another quarterback in there, we'll have the right guy.
All right. You guys are kind of new to you, maybe not new to here, but you got a new conference. You got Cutter Morningstar, Magna Cole, Jessieville, Two Rivers just right up the road. Yeah. Perryville's going to be Glen Rose. They're tough. Yeah. Pretty good conference to play in there, but I know you're used to playing a little bit more of the North Conference with the Charlestons and the Boonvilles and all that. Tell us a little bit about how you feel like Danville fits into that mold.
Yeah, no, we have been in a conference with Jessieville and those teams. We've been in the conference with Cutter Morningstar, Jessieville, all those teams. We've been in conference with them years back. Yeah. So we kind of know. I know a lot of the guys that are coaching there because we kind of coached against them in the past. Right. So it does switch a lot. You'd like it to stay familiar just for the rivalry part of it. But it is what it is. If we need to go play there, we'll go play there. It is what it is. So we're gonna do the best we can with it. But I do like that conference. I feel like we can compete very well in that conference. our last year, my last year here, 2019, we had Glen Rose beat here at Danville.
Yes.
And I want to say they beat us 2 points. And we had them and didn't get it done, but we could compete with teams like that.
Mm-hmm.
So we're familiar with them. Okay, it is new for us, but we have, for some of the coaches here, me including, we have played those teams in the past. So, but we are ready to get started and ready to get going.
And so a staple of your team has been the offensive line.
Yeah.
And we talked a little bit about it, but let's talk a little bit more about offensive line. There were a couple kids you wanted to mention.
Yeah, I did. And they're 2 young guys, 2 of them. One of them is Tommy Irons, is a big kid that can come in and I think spot play for us right now. He's just behind some good offensive linemen right now, but he's 280 pounds. He's a freshman, and he's made tremendous gains in the weight room and on his footwork. So I think he's going to be a kid that can come in and really give us some depth on an offensive line. And another guy who will push for a starting job that broke his foot in the winter and has just now got cleared to work out on that foot, but he's done everything else. Like he's done everything he can to get back physically, and he's done a great job and is extremely smart and intelligent. Is Ian Wright, and he is one that he's one of those guys that is going to make us better he's going to push everybody on that line. Like, if you're not playing well, this guy's going to come in and take your spot. And he has a chance to do that. So I can't wait to see what he can do and what that O-line can do. I think we could just sit here and talk about O-line all day long because they don't get enough credit as it is. But I think I like our depth on the O-line, and I like the groups that we have. And I think it's going to be a real strong point for the Little Giants, because we have had good O-lines in the past, and this group has a chance to be one of those type O-lines.
And it all happens up front. That's where it begins. I mean, if you don't have a good offensive line, then you don't have anything.
Yeah.
And so that's a big deal right there for you. Of course, I know that's a staple of your program. We talked a little bit about the toughness part, and that you like your guys to be tough. That O-line has to be tough.
Have to be tough. Have to be physically and mentally be able to go out there and take the yelling and screaming, and that the fans sometimes will get on them if the hole's not big enough to their liking or whatever. But they don't get a lot of the glory, and they're the epitome of a servant's heart, because they're doing it for somebody. They're out there doing it for a back to get the glory, and that you can always appreciate those O-linemen.
Yeah. Well, I'll tell you what, while we're at it, let's talk a little. We didn't touch enough on the defense. Let's talk a little bit about the defense real quick.
We got some kids coming back that I think can be really good. I think Dylan Carpenter and Jaden Harden will be those 2 inside backers. And Jaden is moving from defensive end to inside backer, because I think he's talented enough he can make that transition. And we got enough depth on the defensive line that it'll be good for him to be back there. Now I think it'll get our best bodies on the field. So those 2 at inside linebacker can be very, very good for us. And then on your outside backer, you got Jerry Nava, who can come in and play, and he'll be a senior next year. And I think he's 185 pounds and is just a great, hardworking kid. Never misses, never talks a whole lot, just kind of gets in there and works, and has really built his body up to play that position. Gunnar Wilkins will be the other OLB that I think can do a great job there. Safeties, you got Cash Wilson, who is one of the smartest kids I've had the privilege of being around. Okay, he just kind of understands. He understands. If you're a coach, you're going to know what I'm talking about. He knows what I'm thinking, so he's going to know what I want to get him, and he's going to communicate on the field, which is huge for the defensive side. I can't wait to get out there and really get his footwork and his technique to the point he can be a good safety for us. The other safety is Rodill's a talented safety. He led the team in interceptions last year and can be out there. but we really need somebody backing him up. And that guy, it looks like it's going to be Matthew Hamrick, who has played but didn't play the last couple of years and is coming back. And he's a high ACT guy, very, very smart. So I think he'll come in and fit in well with that group of safeties. The corners, we'll talk about the corners. It's Aiden Hannum, I think, is quick enough and will be able to cover the way we want him to cover. In our defense, I think he's going to go out there and make some plays. Another guy is Nate Foster.
Mm-hmm.
Nate Foster is a kid that was hurt last year, and he wanted to be out there, and he was pushing his teammates, but he was injured. And he's one that is another high intelligent guy that will be able to get in different coverages for us and can cover. He's got good footwork and can cover. So he's a guy that I really am excited about coaching. I think we're going to move Christian Alcacer. He was a linebacker for us in junior high last year. I think we're going to move him out, and he's going to play some corner for us because I think he's fast enough. He can cover the way we want him to cover. And I think he's got a chance to kind of get into that start spot. Mason Ellison is the fastest guy we have on the team. Can cover. We got to work on his eye discipline, but I think he's one that can really help us in the secondary. Going back to the outside linebacker, Elion Cruz. I'm trying to think. I wish I had my sheet in front of me, but Elion Cruz played middle linebacker for us in junior high last year and is eager to get out there and learn and wants to learn. Another guy on the corner is like a Preston Helms who started at corner in junior high last year that could come in and get some reps at corner and help us. He's an aggressive little guy. He's not big, but he's very, very aggressive and likes to kind of get his nose in there for sure.
Your team was 1-9 last year, but by the sounds of it, just from the conversation that we've had today, you feel a lot more optimistic about this team. They finished 6th in the conference last year. Just tell us what, in your mind, when I say at the end of the day, it was a successful season at Danville if?
We keeping our numbers up. Like making sure that we keep the numbers that we have right now going on through. Conference championship, state championships, the goal. We got to set it. We got to set the standard up high. Has that been achievable the last few years? No. Is that what we're going to strive to do? Yes, we're going to work. We're going to work as hard as we can to get there, and we're going to take what we've got. We can't control injuries. We can't control how much kids quit. Sometimes, and this has been the problem here the last few years. We can't control that. We can do our best to try to keep it from happening. But honestly, if we can get in there and win some games, we can do some really good. We can do something special. We can. But we have to get in there and believe that we can do it, and we have to be able to take adversity when it strikes. And that's just going to take playing games. And, I'd like to say that Danville is always better at the end of the year than at the start of the year. So however we play at the first of the year, we need to be a lot better by the end of the year and gel. So if we can do that, I think we can make a run at it.
Yeah.
And just, get it back to where it's been, where we're making runs and playing on Thanksgiving and having a chance to get a team into the state championship. That's what we want at the end of the year is to look back and say, we played as well as we could play.
Mm-hmm.
And we didn't leave anything on the table. We didn't drop a game because we didn't play well enough. We want to be at the end of the game. This is as well as we could have played, and this is where we ended. But it's the standard is always high here.
Yeah,
it is. I realize that the last few years haven't been good, but that doesn't mean that there hasn't been a high standard here for a long time, because there has.
Yeah.
There's been a higher standard here for a long, long, long time.
All right. Coach DJ Crane joined us here on the Hometown Sports first ever football preview. Coach, I appreciate you joining me. This was awesome. Great interview, man. Appreciate it. We want you to stay tuned to us as well, as we'll have upcoming content you can watch, interviews from coaches all over the state of Arkansas, conference previews and all of that just by joining us here on the Arkansas Sports Network. Until next time, I'm Brad Caldwell. Again, DJ Crane. We will see you later.
Thanks again for joining us on the Arkansas Sports Network's Hometown Sports Football Preview. Don't forget to like and subscribe to the Arkansas Sports Network on YouTube to catch more previews and all the latest updates on your favorite teams.